You have 44 unheard messages. Next message.
Mark, this is your mom. It's 10:54 a.m. The news is that it's been hijacked by terrorists. They are planning to probably use the plane as a target to hit some site on the ground. If you possibly can, try to overpower these guys if you can, because they'll probably use the plane as a target. So I would say go ahead and do everything you can to overpower them, because they're hell-bent. Try to call me back if you can.
I left Mark a couple of messages. Mark, this is your mom. The news is that it's terrorists and you've got to do what you can to get control of the cockpit. And I flubbed up. I got the time wrong and stuff. But I think basically he would have understood and gotten the message if he had heard it. But he wasn't taking messages right at that point. At that point, at 9:54 a.m. Eastern Time, as they were careening over Pittsburgh, Mark and Jeremy and Todd and Tom and whoever else were all running down the aisle, armed with whatever weapons they could get.
Mark Bingham was 31 years old, a PR executive who split his time between San Francisco and New York. He was a 6'4" rugby player, a gay man with a wide circle of friends. Whether Bingham and the other passengers breached the cockpit is still uncertain. But rather than give up control, the hijackers crashed the plane into a Pennsylvania farm field. Bingham's cell phone, like nearly everything else, incinerated on impact. But the calls kept coming.
Next message.
Hey Mark, it's Todd. Can you give me a call and let me know you're okay when you get a chance?
Next message.
Hey Mark, it's Jason. I'm just trying to get a hold of you to make sure you and Amanda are okay. Give me a call back.
6 weeks after the crash, in an attempt to stay connected to her son, she contacted the cell phone company.
I was aware that Mark's voicemail was out there somewhere, so I contacted, I think it was Singular, and explained the situation, and they were more than gracious. They offered me a code that I could play and then have those messages played back to me over the phone.
You've reached the mobile phone voicemail, Mark Bingham. Leave a message.
Please enter your password.
There it is. Got it recording?
My brother Vaughn was very helpful. We recorded all of Mark's messages, and it turned out that there were many pages that were unsuccessful and 44 voicemails, of which mine were like the numbers 3 and 4, and every one of them were from people trying to get assurance that Mark was okay.
The death of Mark Bingham and the events of September 11th would forever change the lives of many of the callers, and in some ways, define them.
Next message.
Mark, hey, it's Derek. We of course have heard the news about what's going on in New York, and just want to make sure that you're okay. So if you could just give us a quick call back and let us know, either through email or phone call or whatever, just that you're okay, would appreciate it. I hope guys are asking about it.
When all this happened, I stood there and I thought, man, I really want to be over there to help those people. I realized that, I wasn't particularly happy with what I was doing with myself at the time. And what it struck in me was that I wanted to be able to be in a position to help people when disasters strike. I don't sit here and hope for the next one. I don't, it's funny now that I'm here, it's like I love the boring days, because if I have a busy day, I'm having a bad day, it doesn't compare to what everyone else is having, I'm not the one on the gurney.
Next message.
Hey Mark, this is Mary, Damon's mom. Just trying to check out, make sure that you and Amanda are okay. If you have a chance, try to give Damon a call because he's a little concerned. So hope all is well with you and you were nowhere near the tragedy today. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye, sweetie.
Mary Billion and her 2 sons were like a second family to Bingham, who spent many nights as a teenager sleeping on their couch.
It was tough. I mean, I drive by Redwood Estates where Mark grew up every day.
Me too. I always think of him.
It's thinking about it, chokes me up. We as kids, Mark was one of the only friends of my brother's that didn't pick on me. So he's like an older brother to me, and I'm reminded of every day.
For Mary, the events of September 11th not only took someone close to her, it made her rethink her political roots. Once a liberal Democrat, she now considers herself more conservative.
I was raised in Massachusetts, and at the age of 6, my father told me there was only one way to vote. You voted party, Democratic Party. I pretty much adhered to that most of my life, and Mark used to even tease me about being a diehard Democrat. And I don't know, for some reason after 9/11, I just changed a little bit politically. I started looking into how people vote. And I guess I became an independent voter shortly after that.
Next message.
Hey Mark, it's Bryce. Listen, just calling to check up on you and also let you know that a couple of guys on the rugby team have kind of put out feelers on our website. Just wanted to know how you are. So if you could just shoot a message to the fog or let me know you're okay, and I'll put up a message. That'd be great. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bryce Eberhardt played rugby with Bingham on the gay-friendly San Francisco Fog rugby team. After 9/11, not only did Eberhardt help establish the Bingham Cup to honor his friend, he changed careers to do something good to counterbalance the evil.
After 9/11, I was working in tech, and I continued to work in tech for about a year and a half, 2 years, but I kept thinking that I wanted to do something just more meaningful that could help contribute back to the community and bring good energy into the world where 9/11 had brought bad energy into the world. And so I decided to work with nonprofit organizations. 9/11 was a really bad day, but the last 10 years have also been really good. I think it changed the trajectory of my life in a good way, in many ways. I would still love for Mark to be here. And I'm sure my life would be richer with him in it, but you have to bounce back from events like that.
Just as her son fought to the end, Alice Hoagland has become a fighter herself. In front of Congress, she has demanded stricter airline security, and she has become an outspoken advocate for gay rights. It has been her way of grieving, but in private, she still has a long way to go.
It's hard to go through Mark's belongings and to see pictures of Mark, and I have been able to grieve publicly, and I'm very grateful for that. But when I get by myself, I get very sad, and so I try not to focus on the contents of the tape.
She has promised to reach out to the callers, many whom she hasn't met, to thank them for caring and for helping her grieve. But she still hasn't found the strength to call. She has yet to discover that her son's heroic legacy, especially to those who knew him best, is far greater than she knew.